An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum by Stephen Spender is a poem about the children who live in a slum. The poet describes the tough living conditions of those poor kids in the poem. He also talks about the lack of opportunities from which they are betrayed. The difference between the educational institutions of the higher class and lower class people makes it clear why the latter is lagging. A child's early years build the foundation of the future. In the case of the poor children, they do not get a quality education in their elementary school. They are deprived not only of quality education but also of the quasi infrastructure which a privileged kid gets easily. Somewhere in the middle of the poem, the presence of the poetic persona also illustrates the concept of otherness, which depicts the social inequality between the poor, them, and the fortunate us. You can read the full poem, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, here in this video. An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum by Stephen Spender. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor, the tall girl with the weighed down head, the paper-seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted unlucky hair of twisted bones, reciting our father's gnawed disease, his lesson from his desk at back of the dim class, one unnoted sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of Squirrel's game, in tree room other than this. On sour cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome riding all cities, bellied, flory, tireless valley, open-handed map awarding the world its world. And yet, for these children, these windows, not this map. Their world, where all their futures painted with a fog, a narrow street sealed in with a lit sky, far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of words. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes from fog to endless night. On their slack heap, these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel with mended glass like bottle bits on stones. All of their time and space are foggy slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as doom. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Break, oh break, open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open, history theirs whose language is the sun. Now you'll have the explanation of the poem. In this poem, the poet focuses on the theme of social injustice and inequality. He presents the pathetic and miserable picture of the elementary classroom in a slum. These children have pale and lifeless faces, and some are even deceased. They are like rootless weeds which are uncared and unwanted, with their disorderly hair torn around their faces. They are depressed and oppressed with the burdens of life and keep their heads down. They have stunted growth. One of the girls is apparently burdened with the miseries of poverty. One of the boys has inherited his father's disease and has stunted growth. Another student is sitting unnoticed, and he is earning to play outdoors. A sweet young boy is sitting at the back of the dim classroom. He is dreaming of a squirrel's game in the tree and probably other interesting things. The walls are dirty and creamy, and on them are hung the donations given to the school in the form of pictures, paintings, Shakespeare's portrait, and maps which are meaningless for the children. They exhibit the world of the elite and the privileged, while the children in the slum have a future that is sealed and confined to the slum. Their future is dark and limited. The donations on the walls only add to the frustration of the children. They are tempted to attain what would be attainable for them. The children studying in these schools do not have the means to go and explore the world. For them, what they see through their classroom windows, the narrow street and the lit sky is the world. Shakespeare is wicked for them, as he has written only about the rich, beautiful world, tempting them to steal. The map is of no interest to them because it does not reflect the world they live in, cramped and dark lanes. Their lives start in darkness and ends in utter darkness. They are undernourished, and their poverty has distorted their vision as they spend their whole time in foggy slums. The poet feels that the map which shows beautiful and exotic places should be replaced with slums, as it is not the world they live in. Unless the governor, inspector and visitor play a vital role in bringing about a change, their lives will remain in dark. The slum children will be able to peep through the window only when the gap between the two worlds is bridged. They should break the barriers. Still they come out of the dirty surroundings, and the world should be extended into the green fields, golden sands and bright world. They should have the freedom of expression, and their outlook be broadened. Thus, the children in the slum can progress only if they are given good education and the freedom to move into a world of opportunities and progress. The poet also states that history is made only by those people who have the power of knowledge. Hence, educating and letting the children into a free world of opportunities would release them from the suffocating and enriched life in a slum. Thank you for listening and watching.